This is my Losi 5T. Just doing a little update on some of the things I came into for issues for probably after the first maybe 4 tanks total running it. First biggest problem I think is probably this stock air filter here. As you can see, I've ghetto rigged a little pin there because I lost so many pins here out of this thing that I had to come up with something to finish running it for the day. And after I discovered that this had fallen off already, this foam was already kind of hanging off here and getting dirt into the second element that's in there. And as we all know, that's probably no good. So I think coming up with something, I have to look into getting some aftermarket air filter, because I don't think this setup here with these pins is gonna do the trick, especially seeing how I'm more of a basher than a racer. And also a couple other things is this pull start here. I don't know if they make aftermarket pull starts that are a little bit more tough or whatnot, but this one here, like as you can see, I'm pulling on it and it's not grabbing much there. And I already have an outerwear on there, so that's obviously not doing me a whole lot of good. And I've also got an outerwear on the I don't know if I'll be able to get it in there, but I got the crankcase outerwear on there too. Another little thing, not too big of a deal, but I got a hole in this boot here down in there already. A stone came in there and wedged itself in there, and I couldn't turn anymore. And I think that might have had something to do with also putting a hole in this thing here, this boot. So that's definitely no good, especially where not only do I bash a lot of the places that I bash at is a sand pit. So sand's gonna get in there and eat that up, and I'm gonna be needing to do something about that here pretty quick. But this thing's tough. I mean, I've rolled it a bunch, and this front bumper is pretty rugged here, and taken quite a few spills, and still just keeps right on trucking, and it's not even broken at all. And this thing is just huge. It's awesome. Like I've said, this pipe is loud. I also have a silencer for that. That would pretty much just go somewhere along the lines of like this, with this tube here being twisted and bent that way with a little mount that would mount right there. But I don't think I'm gonna put that on there. The place I run it, I have plenty of space and don't really need to worry about how loud the thing is. So I'm just gonna run it the way that it is there right now, with the exhaust there dumping out the way it does. Not really a huge fan of the way this pipe comes up here and around this spark plug thing here. It's already melted my wire a little bit right there, and I'm worried about it next. Haven't even really checked it honestly, but yeah, it's looks like it's melted that a little bit. Well, not too bad, but I mean, as you can see, that is really close to the spark plug. And this is the, I'll be able to see that there, DDM dominator pipe. But yeah, overall, the battery pack that comes with it isn't too bad. I probably ran it for almost 3 tanks of fuel, and never really had an issue. And I know it's kind of probably a little silly, but I don't even have my my kill switch in there yet, and it's doing just fine. I haven't had any problems with it running off on me or tweaking out. I also I have the because it's a bind and drive, I don't have any Spectrum controllers or anything like that, so I just have a Traxxas receiver in there. Took that out of my Summit, and it's also got the hookups for telemetry right up here. Haven't taken the time to figure out how to hook that up yet. I just kind of want to get the truck going, because I mean, it's like kind of a beast, and I was excited to play with it. So I wanted to get it up and going as soon as possible. This was real easy. This receiver was already hooked up to my Summit, so there was no binding or anything like that. I just put this receiver in there, and even all the trim settings and everything like that were carried right over from my Summit. I have this this controller for it with the old iPhone on there, with the Traxxas app. The phone isn't charged right now, otherwise I'd show you pretty much what that looks like. But I'm going to be hooking the telemetry up so that I can use the phone to actually hopefully see that. I'm hoping that Losi's telemetry will still work just the same as my Revo 3.3's telemetry did on there. Hoping that works out nicely. I'm also hoping that at some point in the future, these switches here will allow me to maybe run some lights or something like that, because this is the Summit receiver. I do have a couple extra channels there, so hopefully I can utilize those for something cool. Another weird problem I ran into right out of the box, right when I pulled it out of the box, my steering was getting jammed up right where this arm here is touching that, where it looks like it's a little bit freshly cut. That's because I had to take this whole black piece off here, and I had to trim the corner of this off a little bit so that this steering arm here had clearance to move. It wouldn't turn all the way without me having cut that little bit off. So I don't know if everybody else has had that problem or whatnot, but if your steering's binding up, I'd probably just check to see if it's rubbing on either side on this thing with those steering arms. Another problem I just noticed actually while I was making this video is this little arm right here came out of my my front brake assembly there. So obviously I'll have to fix that, but like I don't know how that happened. I guess that's this little set screw up here must be a little loose, but I mean it's an easy fix. It's not gonna cost anything for me to fix that or anything, but just a little thing to keep your eye out on. Stupid little things like that. Just, I mean, even just that's pretty much just about already fixed it. I just gotta loosen that up a little bit to get it the rest of the way through and tighten it back up. Run the linkage a little bit just to make sure that that's where I actually like it to be. But yeah, just noticed that making this video. So I just grabbed my screwdriver real quick and I'm just gonna got that guy popped back in there. I'm just gonna tighten it back up. So I don't think that's going anywhere again. Other than that, I really haven't come into too many issues with this thing. I will be putting the kill switch in there eventually, but haven't yet. Didn't feel like waiting for that to run it. So yeah, I just did. But yeah, I mean, just a quick overview of this thing, man. It's just a beast. That silencer, like I said, I think that tube would just come right over along this way, and it came with a mounting bracket that would, I don't know if I'd have to put a hole in this thing or whatnot, but it would just kind of go along the lines of something like that. So, in conclusion, pretty much I think this thing's an absolute monster. Usually a Traxxas fan. I have a Revo 3.3 Nitro and a electric Revo that I converted from the twin electric motors over to the Mama Monster brushless electric setup with two 4S lipos, and that thing is pretty beastly. And I've also got a Summit that I've pretty much parted out to keep the Revo and the Nitro Revo going. So there's not really a whole lot of that left these days, but I do have the Nitro Revo here to give you a little size demonstration, just in case you're wondering exactly how big this thing is. I mean, pictures and video really don't do this thing a whole lot of justice here. The Revo has always been a very big monster truck in my eyes for the entire time I've owned it, until I pulled this thing out of the box. And my opinion is, if you save your pennies and you got the money for it, get this thing. It's not like it's going anywhere. I have a son here in the other room, and I've pretty much invested this to be in his childhood. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be around for a long time. I'm going to keep it running nicely, and by the time he's ready to play with it, it's going to be here. Just like this guy here. That's still going. I haven't haven't taken care of this thing very nicely. As you can see, everything is very dirty. But even when I clean everything up, I never have very good luck with running the nitros. Nitros are such a pain in the butt. This Losi here, being a 2-stroke, I mean, you just prime that bulb up a couple of times and pull it like no more than 6 times and the thing's running. There's nothing like it for an RC car. Nitro is just a ridiculous pain in the butt. Someday, probably what I would like to end up doing with this thing is converting this aluminum chassis here to electric. I've broken 3 plastic chassis on my Mama Monster, and I'd like to have something a little more durable for bashing, because that's, like I said earlier, more my style. And I think this thing could probably take a little bit more of the abuse that I could more than willingly provide for it. But yeah. Anyway, Losi 5T is badass. If you can get one, get it, and it won't let you down. It's gonna be fun. I promise that. So once I get my telemetry all set up on my controller and all that jive, I will pretty much do an update on this video and show what that looks like on the phone if it actually works. But other than that, I'm done for the day, and I'm gonna crack open a brewski here and call it a day. Have a good one.